Let me tell you something, just between us. You know how sometimes life throws you curveballs that make you question everything you thought you knew? That's exactly what happened to me when I walked into my boyfriend's house and stumbled upon a shrine dedicated to my ex-husband. It all started innocently enough. I'd been dating Daniel for about 6 months at the time, a man who seemed perfect in every way. He was kind, attentive, and genuinely interested in getting to know me beyond the surface level. After years of feeling emotionally drained from my marriage to James, yes, that James, Daniel felt like a breath of fresh air. We had our ups and downs, sure, but overall things were going well, or so I thought. One weekend, Daniel invited me over to his place for dinner. It wasn't unusual. We'd spent countless evenings together, cooking meals, watching movies, or simply talking late into the night. But this particular visit turned out to be different. As I wandered through his home after setting the table, I noticed something peculiar tucked away in a corner of his living room. At first glance, it looked like an ordinary display shelf filled with books, photos, and trinkets. But as I moved closer, my heart sank. There, framed neatly on the wall, were pictures of James, my ex-husband. Dozens of them. Some were candid shots taken during events we'd both attended before our divorce, while others were clearly staged portraits meant to capture specific moments in time. Alongside the photos were mementos, concert tickets, letters, even a small trophy he'd won during high school football season. I froze, staring at the collection in disbelief. My mind raced, trying to process what I was seeing. Why would Daniel have such a shrine to my ex-husband? And why hadn't he mentioned it before? He appeared moments later, wiping his hands on a dish towel. "What's up?" he asked, smiling warmly until he saw the expression on my face. Then his smile faltered. "Is everything okay?" I gestured toward the wall without speaking, unable to form coherent words. His eyes followed mine, landing on the shrine. For a split second, I thought I saw panic flash across his features, but it disappeared almost instantly. "Oh," he said finally, letting out a nervous laugh. "You found that." "Found what?" I demanded, stepping back to give myself some space. "What is this, Daniel? Why do you have a shrine to my ex-husband in your house?" He sighed heavily, running a hand through his hair. "It's complicated," he admitted reluctantly, "but it's not what you think." "Not what I think?" I repeated, my voice rising. "You've got pictures of my ex-husband plastered all over your living room. How am I supposed to interpret that?" Daniel hesitated, clearly struggling to find the right words. When he finally spoke, his tone was apologetic yet firm. "Look, I know it seems strange, and I should have told you sooner, but James, he means a lot to me." My stomach dropped. "Means a lot to you? What does that even mean?" "It means," he paused, glancing around the room as if searching for inspiration. "James was my best friend before he met you. We grew up together, went to college together, shared everything. When he married you, I lost touch with him gradually. By the time you two divorced, we weren't close anymore." "So you decided to honor him by building a shrine in your house?" I asked incredulously. "No, this is about worshiping him or anything like that. These items remind me of the person he used to be, the guy who inspired me, challenged me, and made me want to be better. They're memories, nothing more." Memories, right? Memories don't usually take up entire walls, complete with photo albums and memorabilia. Still, part of me wanted to believe him, to trust that there was no sinister motive behind his actions. But another part of me couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to the story than he was letting on. Over the next few days, I couldn't stop thinking about the shrine. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw those photos of James staring back at me, their presence haunting me like ghosts from the past. Determined to understand what was really going on, I decided to dig deeper. First, I reached out to mutual friends we shared with James, hoping they might shed light on Daniel's connection to him. To my surprise, most of them confirmed his version of events. Yes, Daniel and James had been close friends growing up, though their bond weakened significantly after James married me. One friend even mentioned how devastated Daniel had been when James cut ties with him shortly before the divorce proceedings began. But then came the twist. Another acquaintance hinted at something darker, suggesting that Daniel's attachment to James went beyond mere friendship. "He always idolized James," she said cryptically. Sometimes I wondered if it was more than platonic admiration. More than platonic? The idea sent chills down my spine. Could it be true? Was Daniel harboring unspoken feelings for my ex-husband? Or worse, had he orchestrated the whole thing, a twisted attempt to keep James close by dating someone who reminded him of his former best friend? The more I thought about it, the more unsettling the possibility became. If Daniel truly loved James, did that mean our relationship was built on lies? Was I merely a stand-in, a placeholder, until he could reconcile whatever unresolved emotions lingered between him and my ex? These questions gnawed at me constantly, preventing me from focusing on work or enjoying simple pleasures like reading or watching TV. Eventually, I realized I needed answers. Not guesses or half-truths, but concrete evidence to either confirm or dispel my fears. A week later, I confronted Daniel again, choosing a quiet moment when neither of us was distracted by household chores or external obligations. Sitting across from him at the kitchen table, I took a deep breath and laid everything out on the line. "Daniel," I began, my voice steady despite the turmoil inside me. "I need you to be honest with me about everything. No sugarcoating, no excuses, just the truth." He stared at me for a long moment, his expression unreadable. Finally, he nodded slowly. "Okay," he said, "ask me anything." "Why did you build the shrine?" I asked directly, cutting straight to the heart of the matter. His shoulders slumped slightly, as if relieved that I'd addressed the elephant in the room. "Because I miss him," he admitted quietly, not just as a friend, but as someone who shaped who I am today. Those memories are important to me, and losing contact with James left a void I haven't been able to fill. "But why keep it hidden from me?" I pressed, leaning forward. "If it's so meaningful, why didn't you mention it earlier?" "I didn't want to upset you," he confessed. "After everything you went through with James, I figured bringing up old memories wouldn't help our relationship. Plus, I worried you might misinterpret my intentions, which apparently you did. And what about—" I hesitated, unsure how to phrase the next question delicately. "Any romantic feelings you might have had for him?" Daniel flinched visibly, confirming my suspicions. "There were times when I wished things could have been different," he admitted after a long pause. "Not because I resented your relationship with James, but because I envied it. Watching him fall in love with someone else, and eventually marry her, made me realize how much I cared about him. But by then it was too late. Too late." Those two words hung heavy in the air between us, forcing me to confront uncomfortable truths about my own role in the situation. Had I unknowingly stepped into a dynamic fraught with unresolved tension and lingering affection? And if so, where did that leave us now? In the weeks that followed, Daniel and I navigated the aftermath of this revelation together. While painful, the experience taught me valuable lessons about communication, vulnerability, and self-awareness. For one thing, I learned that relationships require transparency even when discussing difficult topics feels uncomfortable or awkward. Keeping secrets, no matter how well-intentioned, only creates distance and mistrust over time. Additionally, I gained a deeper understanding of emotional baggage and its impact on personal connections. Both Daniel and I carried scars from previous relationships, whether involving James or other individuals. Acknowledging these wounds openly allowed us to heal collectively rather than allowing them to fester beneath the surface. Finally, I came to appreciate the importance of boundaries in maintaining healthy partnerships. Although Daniel's shrine initially struck me as bizarre and invasive, it ultimately served as a reminder of his past, a piece of his identity that deserved recognition. By respecting his history while asserting my own needs and limits, we found common ground moving forward. Today, our relationship remains strong, built on mutual respect and open dialogue. Though challenges still arise occasionally, we approach them with honesty and empathy, knowing that growth often stems from adversity. And as for the shrine, well, let's just say it's seen better days. With Daniel's blessing, I repurposed the space into a neutral gallery, showcasing artwork and photographs meaningful to both of us, a symbol of unity amidst complexity. So, dear listener, let me leave you with this. Love isn't always straightforward, nor should it be expected to conform to societal norms or expectations. Sometimes it requires patience, courage, and a willingness to embrace imperfection. Because at the end of the day, it's not perfection that binds people together, it's authenticity.